Going live on the Late Sesh. Welcome. What's up, chat? What's
Hey,
up,
Hi.
everybody? Got
Cheers,
the
everybody.
panel here. Got Tara Nuttree. What are you smoking on?
I literally was like, babe, what is this? This tastes so good. He's like, strawberries and cream.
Oh, that's why.
oh, yeah.
Alright, let me we were talking about Pathfinder. I gotta find some stuff
Thank you,
for
Becca. Thank you,
show
Red.
off.
Thank you, Tara. Thank
I, was,
you.
I guess we can show off what anything Gro's character might look like. This is
Yeah, she's got
this is
spikes. She's
I don't
yeah,
think
but
that's
this
what she's
is
got in
this
her
is
mind.
the worst miniature I've ever seen. It looks like no offense to children, it looks like a child did it. I don't know how they're selling those. But I'll find the one I got.
You wouldn't pay $5 for that, Biggs? Is that what you're saying?
No, let me show you the one I got you for your character, which was dope.
ready to fight.
Yeah. These are like 3D printed. Look at this. This is sick. I can't wait. By the way, it's I was like, where the fuck is it in the mail? It's coming from Australia.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's why.
Yeah, that is fucking dope. You're right.
But that's gonna be sweet.
That's
So
cool.
And then
yeah,
it's gonna be blank, so it can be painted whatever color.
yeah, we can attach whatever weapons. So that's the big thing. And then Johnny, our other buddy, is gonna be a dwarf. Everybody knows what a dwarf looks like.
Nice.
He's gonna be. I think he's
How's
deciding
he
on a
gonna be a dwarf?
rogue.
He's gonna be a dwarf rogue. That he's
So
gonna.
then you have 2 DPS, a healer, and then we gotta convince Tara to be like a tank. Otherwise, you guys are gonna have a rough time.
How can you convince me not to be a tank?
Well, okay, I
Not
like
know
that
me?
attitude.
Fuck.
Then we gotta. I'm gonna show you the tank classes.
Was that like warrior?
Later. Well, there's the fighter. I showed her this pre-made one earlier
alright.
because I'm getting her ready.
Come on.
Oh yeah.
But there's a lot
Come on,
more
man.
tanks than just fighter is so basic in my mind. I wouldn't buy that or get that.
All right. I'm a mom, so that automatically makes me a mule/tank.
Sweet.
There you
All
go.
right, perfect.
There you go.
You gotta get something with
So
lots of
I'll pull up
fucking
the
help.
classes.
What do you have you decided on the rule for resting? Are you gonna follow the rule to the T where you only get one health back per fucking hour of resting or some ridiculous thing?
I gotta look that up because when I listened to my favorite podcast, the Glass Can one, they started the first like 100 episodes not following that rule, but then they changed. So we might, I honestly think honestly think as a character, it's like, oh, you hit level 8 or 9, now we're going to that rule, because now you have so many spells to choose from.
Okay.
It matters or something like that.
If I don't play games often, so just this is my interpretation. So if I'm going to play a game, we can't alter things halfway in. We got to be straightforward all the way through. Let's have a rule book. Let's have a game plan. Let's
you would we would easily explain this to you and just be like, well, now. So what we're talking about is resting in this game. Let's say you get hurt in a battle and you don't have bandages or a healer that has mana, power left to heal you.
Yeah.
You need then, and you're not battling and you're in a safe place, you can rest, but it takes like a whole day of your time. And in the rule book, you get like, I don't know the exact specification, but it's like you get.
Hold on, you can get hurt in this game.
Yes.
You get one hit point per level per hour, something like that. So you're only getting like 8 hit points out of like, let's say,
it's like
50.
it's like one every 8 hours.
Yeah, it's like not a lot. But so we're gonna have a rule for,
right? Is that what you're saying?
well, if you're the tank, probably tank's the most risky to die. But then we blame it on the healer because where's the healing? But
I feel like the tank is like the first of the line. Just
well, like like you got like, I'm looking at the classes. You got like barbarian, probably brawler's a tank. Let's see, fighter obviously, monk, which is just a fist fighter. Paladin, you ever heard of a paladin? Those are like, those guys are, I don't know how they are in Pathfinder, but they're usually like knights, but they're holy, so they can heal. So they can like also like go in, they'll hit people, but then they get damaged and heal themselves, which is really good.
All right.
There's a Slayer.
Who do I have to back me up?
Yeah, that would be your whole team. That's you. That's Spartan. Anything grows, and my neighbor Johnny. So
I'm the first of the line. I'm the leader.
You're the one. Your job is to get in there and say, "Hey, look at me, monsters! Come over here," so that your weak little partners like Spartan, and then not that they're weak physically. Spartan, you're gonna get tapped by some of these monsters and go down. You bet. Yeah, your character's
I think
not
the
made
going
to
down is going to be going. The dungeon master is going to be going down more than anybody.
No, I think I'm not gonna. I probably won't crush your characters in this story because it's probably not made for that. But once the chains are off, I'm gonna bring the nastiest monsters, and you know my rolls are good.
Maybe we should bring Brandon back in.
D10 to the face, Joe.
Of course, your rolls are good when you're behind a fucking screen.
What? I'll roll my rolls in front of y'all.
We're gonna have somebody that needs to get us in check here, and maybe Red and Becker are the ones to do that.
Yeah.
I just keep hearing something about a D10 to the face. I don't know.
Ooh, D10. How about a D20?
I think you said that.
I did.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know. Going down on it.
So D20 is a 20-sided die. D10 is a 10-sided die.
Okay.
So there's going to be instances where the book will tell you like, oh, you drank a shitty potion, you need to use a D4. So you only have a chance of getting how many? 4. You know.
So basically,
whereas if you get a really good potion, you might be able to roll a D10 and get possibly 10 heal points or something.
Basically, Tara, the dice system is basically just to simulate percentages. So, for example, if you're like
a little bit of randomness.
If you're like, I want to run 10 feet and then pole vault over a 5-foot wall, you know, they'll be like, okay, well, you have a 1 in 10 chance of getting that done. Roll a D10. So it's got 10 sides.
Got it.
Makes the math easy.
Okay, cool.
Oh. Yep. So
if you're saying math though with me, I may be fucked.
It's just addition and subtraction. So it'll be like, all right, your character wants to jump over that hole. That's fine, but you need to roll a D20, so there's 20 numbers on it, right?
Yeah.
And this hole, whatever determines it, which is me, because I am the god, it'll be like you need to get over a 10. You need to roll over a 10 in order to actually make it over that hole. If you don't roll over 10, you fall in the pit and take damage, and now you have to climb out of the hole, which is another roll on your next whole turn, though. Turns matter. So it's stuff like that. And I'm thinking we might do a first session where we just talk and create everybody's character and flush it all out and get we don't even start. We do some basic rules and stuff because everybody's new to this. So but it's gonna be a blast.
And the great thing is as the DM, you get to create the rules on the fly if you need to. So like there's gonna be house rules maybe, or if a decision has to be made, there's always an answer. There's never a spot where you're stuck. It just goes to DM and they just make that decision for that game.
I want to eventually get a system down like there's 2 systems I like from the Glass Can. There was one for the shop where they had it was like a random roulette shop, and you get so like let's say that the team beats a boss, okay? I'm the game master. All you get a token. It's called a lucky token or Bob's token. When you get back to the main city, there's Bob's store. He's got a wheel, and it's 100 spot wheel, and you get to use 1 token and spin. And I go to my sheet that's pre-made, and there's 100 different items, and whatever you roll, you get something cool. Could be something crappy, who knows? But there's that, and then the other thing is later when we record them and get them out, they now have like when you do a critical threat, which is a double critical, they pull out like a listener idea of what happens on that critical. Does it not
cool.
only is it going to do 2 times damage like a normal critical or maybe 4 times damage, but it's also going to make them bleed. So now the monster's taking 2 extra hit points off their health every couple rounds or something based off of the listeners. So I want to get stuff like that going.
Okay.
But we're gonna start slow. And eventually we're gonna do a super dungeon, which the entire adventure is in a single dungeon. So
But honestly, Tara, the entire thing is we're just playing parts. We're characters in a story, and we're trying to tell the story.
That's cool.
We're gonna be we're just hanging out and smoking weed while playing a goofy game, really. Like
we're trying to tell a story because you're playing your character, and then you're just using the dice to roll like for actions to see if shit happens or doesn't happen the way you want.
That way nobody can be like, obviously my character killed that giant with one hit. He's a fucking rogue. That's what he does, so you got the dice to be like, well, you need to roll to see if he actually did that.
That's super cool. When I was growing up, I did not get to play Dungeons and Dragons at all because the boys were like, "Fuck you, you're a girl, you're out." So I didn't even get to like interact in this. They like threw fireworks at me and like acted like, "Oh, you haven't
get out of here! Get out of here! You can't play Dungeons and Dragons."
They were like, "Beyond, you can't play Dungeons and Dragons. You're getting fireworks thrown at you." But that was just in the neighborhood because of where I grew up. But anyways, I really want to do this. I have always wanted to do this from a young damn child. So I'm like all about this. So
So real quick, back to the jumping over the hole. Let's say, she has to she has to roll a 10 to get over the hole. What if she fumbles and rolls a 1? Does something like bad?
Yeah, so 1s and 20s are always something either 20s really good and 1's like an extra bad. So while there's criticals on the other end, there's critical. I forget what they call them, but there's critical.
Instead of falling down that hole and land on your feet, you land on your head.
You might land on your and break your arm. So now you can only use one. You can't use your shield or your sword. You pick. Something like that. Yeah.
Plus 1.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that's why I want to get to the further adventures because I just read that we can include more than 4 people.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, so especially Super Dungeon. Super Dungeon sounds like a raid. We might be able to include everybody on this panel.
That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty sweet. Red and Becca,
I want to do it.
If you could make characters, what kind of characters would you be?
Ogre.
I think out of both of those, I think that Becca would actually be more into it than Red.
Oh, yeah, probably.
I think they'd both be great at it, though.
I think they would both be amazing at it.
Yeah.
Just for the storytelling aspect, it would be like fucking bomb.
I've never played it. My old roommate was really into it, and she was trying to get me to play, and I just never got around to it. Just lots of dabs. It's way more fun.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna do
like a fairy dragon is like my thing that I see. I mean, I obviously have one on my back, so it's like
I don't think you can pick a dragon.
Yeah, I'm like.
Well, in D&D they had dragon kind.
Yeah, I think they might have a dragon humanoid in this too.
I don't know. The fairy something. I think it's not just it's a winged kind of situation. Maybe
they definitely have fairies because I remember listening to my podcast. The funny part about a druid is they can reincarnate people. So if your guy dies and you have a druid in the party, you might be able to reincarnate. But that's where that 100-sided dice comes in, because there was rules. I don't know if it's in the book or they made them up, but you could reincarnate as a druid, but the person you reincarnate has to roll that 100-sided die, and depending on the number is what race they come back as or species. So like you might have started as a human or something, but now that the druid reincarnated, you could be and the one guy was worried because he might be a fairy, and he was a real badass and stuff. So he didn't want to come back as like a literal fairy or something like that. And he didn't though. I can't remember what. I think he came back as half elf, which wasn't great.
What the hell does 100-sided dice look like? I don't think I've seen that.
It's almost a sphere.
Oh my god.
Let's see, 100. I'll have to get a master of one and make my own, but this is
what are the other characters? I don't even know. Is it like just
So have you ever watched any fantasy? Like Lord of the Rings, anything like that. So any race you could ever have probably seen in any movie, any story like that is probably in this game. So like for instance, Spartans playing dog people. Well, it's not that there's that many. It's that there's that many variations of the same thing in this game.
Yeah. So the race is independent usually of the class, and class is like what you're doing. Like, are you a mage or are you a fighter? So you can do that with all the races pretty much.
Yeah.
But races just add flavor and different bonuses and stuff to you. But there are quite a few races. Like there's dwarves and humans and elves, and then there's the halves, like a half orc, I think is in there as a race. The race I'm playing is a Shumi, which is like a half dog human. And then
Here we go.
picked a race that's like, I guess they're kind of porcupine-ish. I don't know how to explain it. They're really weird.
I'll pull hers up in a second. Hers are the Sheesk right here. But
there's the races right there.
It's funny because Spartan and Anything Grows are so alike. They both went straight, no core, no uncommon. Fuck that. Rare races. Like, these races don't have as much info and stuff, but they're very cool. Like the Sheesk and the Shuni. Those are dog people and pretty much spiky porcupine kind of people. I'm sure Anything Grows knows more about them now. But there's everything in between, like orcs. And I believe if you want, you can do like half. You can be like, I'm a half orc, half human.
So in the human race, there's this like a sub race half orc.
Okay, so there's sub races. See, I don't have that part of the books. So yeah, and they all do different stuff. So obviously, cat people, they're gonna be better at running and jumping and climbing. Maybe they might have a slight bonus to that. So if you're gonna play a character or a class like a rogue that's really needs to run around, maybe jump off walls or something, you might want to be a cat folk.
Yeah, you want to be sneaky or something. Yeah, that's gonna.
But if you're gonna play like Tara, she might want to play an orc. That's a big brute. You know what I'm saying?
Big
and
giant.
Because they might have a bonus to health or defense. So it's stuff like that. But yeah, so you just pretty much pick a character and you just start playing it, and the dice tell you how the story goes. Not the story.
Honestly, you can have so much fun just making your character. That's so much fun.
Like that. Yeah, I can tell that Spartan and Anything Grows have already like gotten super into it. My neighbor, he's hitting me up so much. He doesn't even have a smartphone. He texts me on his shitty old phone, and like he's been texting me all day with questions like, "Can I do this? So awesome. Can I do that?" Yeah. So he's excited, and that's the thing. That's all you need to do is be into it. Yeah. And then it'll work. It'll work out no matter what. Because even if you don't like your character, I'm trying to kill your characters in a small way. Like, well, maybe not even a small way. Like half.
Yeah, we spent all this time. Great character.
The game master. I want my dragons and my skeletons and my baddies to kill you, because that means I'm winning. So.
That was so funny that you just said baddie. My little step grandson, he's always like, my baddie's gonna get yours. My baddie's gonna kick your ass. My baddie's gonna get you. Ooh.
There's a fun game though. There's a fun side adventure we might do. I think it's Pathfinder where you play goblins. So you are kind of a bad people because and everybody picks a goblin to play.
That's cool.
Yeah. But it was recommended not to start on that because it's not a good idea to tell new people. Because then I have to tell you, you have to kind of put yourself in a villainous role. Whereas now you can just do what you want. I just tell you guys to do what you want. Yeah. Whereas goblins, you kind of have to be mischievous. That's why they're not on this list I just showed as a playable. Well, they are a core race, so I guess you can. But
yeah, goblins are on the they're on the core.
I wouldn't. Yeah, but there was some reason why we shouldn't start with it. But yeah, so we're starting with the beginner box. So yeah, I'm stoked for that. But
what's going on with Red and Becca this week?
Yeah.
Hello.
Got your tomato plants out.
Got out. Yep. Sorry. We're here.
Quite the transition.
Yeah, it was like, phew.
That was a hard transition.
We were napping before the show, so we were like a little tired.
Dude.
So,
we're dead ass.
What are we doing this week? Yeah, we got our tomato plants out. It's like officially warm, so put them outside and under the trees and really giving them filtered light and not direct sun for a bit. But I want to get them planted next week, probably is what I'm thinking. What else did we do? We planted our mulberry tree.
I saw that.
That was cool. That was fun. That was yesterday.
Getting some of our cannabis hardened off. So.
Yeah.
Where did you plant your mulberry tree in relation to your garden?
It's kind of in front of it, so it's in front of the chicken coop area.
Oh, good. Mulberries bring tons of thrips, in my experience.
Yeah.
So,
we already have one of those.
If you have it by your chickens, then you're cool because the chickens will probably snack down.
We totally noticed that last year. We the neighbors got one, so he'll go and eat them right off the tree. But there's definitely crawlers in them.
Yeah, you want to rinse those off. You don't want to eat them straight off the tree.
That's extra protein.
Okay, there you go. You get a little protein. Okay, I like that.
Probably wash anything we get out of the ground.
Some suckers hit my digestive system. Stomach acid.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't bother you, then that's cool. I mean, I'm definitely eaten some thrips in my life. I'm sure. I've eaten ants. I've eaten lots of bugs.
I'm sure everybody has.
Eat my plant.
Oh my goodness! The first time I harvested,
a relationship.
I had no idea.
How many bugs do you eat a year?
No idea there was worms in broccoli, and I fed it to my family.
Oh yeah, you gotta yeah.
Holy shit!
I didn't know.
Lots of allowable limits of bug DNA.
The average person unknowingly eats a surprisingly high number of bugs a year. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, the average person consumes up to 1.5 pounds of insects annually through fruits and vegetables.
There's a lot.
Amounts to 400 to 66 bugs a year.
Yeah, there's a lot of allowable limits in your food. Just even.
If you're vegan, you're eating even more.
Never done it before. You just know. So and think about it. Somebody's like saying, "Hey, I want to grow food for my family," and you do this, you do that, and sometimes you just don't think about all the little ins and outs that get in on the plants. So you just harvest it and go with it. And
it's not guaranteed that.
Learn my lesson.
Yeah, it's not guaranteed that they're always there, but they're there a lot. They're there a lot.
I cut
the same color
asparagus. Cut some asparagus today and brought it inside. Set it down before I washed it. Put it in the pan, and then I looked down, and there was totally a little. What was it? It is one of those bugs that roll up.
Oh,
roly-poly, baby. Isopod.
Sawbugs.
It was more like a slug looking type.
Yeah, a little wormy.
Probably. It was whatever.
Little small wormy.
A little extra protein.
You don't want to eat slugs.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
Slugs can cause brain damage and shit. They can fuck you up heavy. Yeah, slugs can cause neurological issues and give you some bad issues. But man, there's a lot of bugs. Get on that Carl Schwab plan. Eat yourself some mosquitoes. Eat yourself some.
They just also go in your mouth sometimes when you're breathing. Isn't that annoying?
I saw a documentary.
I breathe in my nose and one shoots up my nose. That's the worst.
Yeah, I hate that.
The gnats will do that.
Get out of my space.
There was a documentary, this place in Africa where they live near a lake, and there's so many mosquitoes that hover over the lake. They can go out there and just take pots and pans and swash, and they'll just get they'll get so many dead mosquitoes, they can patty them. They patty them and cook them.
That's disgusting.
And it's a source of protein for them. And it's just holy fudge.
And they could be eating their fellow
blood.
Isn't
that
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm guessing the blood boils, or something like that when you cook it.
Yeah, but what if they like their mosquito burgers rare?
What do you mean? Well,
that'll kick it very long.
Maybe that's like a sign on the door. No rare orders.
Only well done.
I'm not judging. To each their own. That's the thing. People eat bugs all the time, like India and stuff like that. They'll eat those big crickets, things like that. No thanks. Crunch. Ugh.
I've seen in the Chinese food markets having even scorpions and things like that. I'm like, man, that's like
chocolate covered.
Yeah.
The topic's the head of a very huge debate right now, right?
What?
This topic's the head of a very huge debate.
What's the debate?
Bugs?
Eating bugs and bug
do it or
protein.
not?
No, just bug protein being used to reverse, almost as a
as a replacement.
Yeah, but like there's theories that it's all climate agenda backed, and like there's a lot of things that it's just another part of the BlackRock, Carl Schwab technocrat, turn us all into
like making all of our processed food out of bugs.
Basically, most of our processed food is pretty much close to that, anyways.
I'm pretty sure they've already started that. They put like mealworm protein.
Mealworm protein.
Yeah.
Like Burger King's been using mealworm protein for probably 20 or 30 years. Like, I mean, that's nothing new. But like, yeah, that's it's just even more and more common.
Well, it makes me think of what was the movie?
Unless we worry.
And I know somebody in chat has fucking watched it, but it's a train movie where like we're stuck living on train in the future. It's so cold.
Yeah, it's called like Ice Train or
the back of the train. People are like the workhorse, and they have to eat these bars, and they end up finding out the bars are like roaches ground up, like all the bugs from the place.
Disgusting.
And yeah, and like then that's when they freak out. Fuck, what was that called? Then they made a TV show about it too.
It's called like Snow Train.
Snow Train, I think you're right. Snow Train.
Yeah, I remember seeing Snow
Train.
Ice Train or
Snowpiercer. That's it. Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer.
There was an Asian adaptation. There was an American one, and then they made the show, and the show's pretty crazy. They're all good, I think.
Asian one's the original, I think.
Yeah, the Asian's the original one. It's pretty gnarly.
I think it's a Park Chan-wook movie, like Old Boy. I'm not.
Yeah, it's like very fighty.
I think
so. But definitely check out Snowpiercer if you haven't seen that. Those are pretty interesting. Yeah, I think that you got. I'm waiting on a season of that. But
is that? I feel like I've seen that. Is it on Netflix or something?
It used to. I think it started on TNT or something like that. But yeah, now it's on Netflix.
Like, I feel like
everything went to streaming. Let me look. Yeah. I
feel like I've seen
it's got this. It's got the. I'll pull it up. Yeah, see, we're waiting for season 4, I think. Snowpiercer show. It's hard to find things when there's 3 different variations of it.
There was a lot to that movie, man. The hierarchy of power. It was very well represented into a lot of like the technocrat oligarchy that we're kind of.
It's got this guy
in front of today,
and this is the bad guy. But yeah, so they're stuck on these trains.
People at the front of the train hold the technology and the power.
The Earth is so cold; it's like reverse climate change.
How big is the train?
The train is like 500 cars long.
Yeah, it's huge.
So like literally, there's a car for aquarium, so they can harvest fish and keep fish going. There's a farm cart or 2. There's a medical cart. There's a prison cart. There's so many cars. And as you get closer to the front of the train is the more rich shit, like a nightclub cart and all that, you know. Whereas the back of the train is just trash. It's just like metal train, mechanical and stuff. But yeah,
it travels
definitely a good watch.
Stop. It's just on a perpetual run around the earth.
Yeah, it's a perfect train. The guy knew that the apocalypse was coming, so he invented this train that could run forever, and so that's the whole thing on that. But but he also designed it like shittily like that. Like you have to use people, like in the back all of the time.
It's not a perfect perpetual motion machine. It's loaded with metaphors. It's a fucking wild movie.
Yeah,
it's really fucking good.
The show just elongates it, so it makes it even. If you watch the movies and like them, then you have the show to watch. Is my opinion. Watch the movies, see if you like them, Asian or not, because Asian is going to be subtitles, unless you're crazy and watch dub, which is nuts.
I can't. My brain does not like that.
Dub, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like it, it's either sub or a real English movie, you know. But yeah, watch those, and if you like them, you got a whole like 3 seasons of Snowpiercer, the show, and they're all different. To me, it's just a different director's take, but it's cool.
It's a long movie.
I like shows that like have a different approach to what the future might be, or like what the apocalypse would be.
Yeah, they're definitely have you Apple TV right when they started doing their shit and like launching, they did what's the Aquaman guy with the long hair? That guy, you know?
Jason Momoa.
Yeah. So he did a show with them where the world goes no offense to blind people, but the world goes blind.
Yeah.
But they're like fighting and shit, and it's nuts. So then like one person comes along and they can see, and that's the whole story. But yeah, there's some interesting takes on the future, but then there's some really cool ones.
One of my favorites is on Netflix as well. I only liked the first season of it, right? Like after the first season, it was whatever. But Altered Carbon.
Oh, that was a good one.
Just like I thought it was so cool, like that you can live forever. You can live forever, and you are like downloaded onto a whatever is put in your neck, and then you just you pop up everywhere.
Basically, bodies are just like that. They're just used, and you can transfer.
Just like a vessel.
That was a good one.
I think that's happening in our lifetime. Is that happening in our lifetime? Isn't that
they're working on
AI and
de-aging us.
Yeah, like Neuralink's going to start.
They figured out how to reverse aging supposedly on a mouse, where they took them back 20 years.
It doesn't make sense though, because people couldn't keep having children, right? Because then there would be too many people. So who's going to be able to live forever? The people who can afford it, rich people. So it's
it would not be. Yeah, we're already on a steady population problem incline. They say.
Yeah, totally.
So that would really. Yeah, you're right.
We're kind of declining.
Yeah, there's other arguments to say we're on a population decline, and that we actually don't have as many people, and that people should have more babies. Elon Musk is one of those that say that we don't. That we're short and in danger of population fallout.
Because young people aren't having
young people aren't having kids. They're not. The family unit is completely obsolete at like the age of like 25.
It's gonna be a crisis in China.
They're saying there's a I mean, I guess it depends on where you
I'm 38. I don't have kids yet. That's very rare for the last.
So it looks like it's what Elon Musk is also saying too, is down here at the bottom. It's gonna increase 2050. It's gonna increase to like 9.7 billion. So we will keep rising. But then what Elon Musk and another website I'm seeing, it's gonna stop and start declining by 2100. So that's, I guess, the math or something. But they're probably also including that we're gonna kill ourselves and start. That's why maybe like we're gonna start choking ourselves with gas.
That's what I'm kind of thinking.
Or a natural disaster or something.
Yeah, it says the world population may peak by 2064 at 9.7 billion and then decline to around 8.8 billion by 2100. So that's interesting. So
kind of scary to see what it's going to be, coming to. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's a crapshoot, honestly.
Well, now, but it's like Becca, I like those shows like that where, like, I'm watching this other one. It's Apple TV now. It just came out, so I clicked on it. Silo. and it's like some future where we've lived in a giant underground silo, but it's really a city that's cylindrical and tall, and it's we've lived in there for like so long that they've forgotten history and why we were in there or what's outside or and like there's like been a rebellion that deleted even more history, so like that one's pretty interesting too.
You can't get to the top. The elite hold the
Well,
top.
exactly. There's a tier system where and like if you fuck up too bad though, they send you outside, and
it's all metaphor for the oligarchy, dude. It's
yeah,
it's all
the broken trickle down system they
for the
promised.
corporate takeover. Yeah.
But yeah,
corporation own the government.
But I like seeing now that like a lot of people are getting chickens, and like a lot of people are see a lot more people getting off of the those udders of the corporations. Yeah.
It's challenging. It's in every aspect.
Well, I mean, shit, yeah. Think about it. If you were in a straight up HOA, you can't do anything. You can't do a chicken coop. You can't do a garden. Tara, what you got there? The work for later.
You're not supposed to do anything.
Well, in a strict HOA, they'll get you out of there, and then you're moving.
What's nice is that some HOAs don't. Some HOAs allow privacy fences.
Yeah.
And what goes on behind a privacy fence is private, and those that are eavesdropping, well, they're eavesdropping. So
then it's like a cop that broke the law and then arrests you. Yeah.
That's what's nice. And what's also nice is locks. Locks are really nice too. Locks prevent HOA officials from wandering into your yard. They prevent township officials from wandering into your yard. They prevent a lot of things like that. Signs help too if you need to put up signs, but sometimes those don't always work. They can give you extra added protection sometimes.
Beware, dog.
Well,
yeah.
Maybe a sign for permit parking, or parking for a fee or entrance to property. You owe me this much money, etc., etc.
Yeah. By reading this sign, you are now liable.
Locks on your property. That keeps them off.
You gotta start breaking it down.
That's what I thought I was going
do.
to
They want to charge you to park in their building. You can charge them to park on your property just the same.
Yeah. I hope nobody parks on my property. There was a repo guy out front on my street, but it was the neighbors. It was so funny because the car, I don't want anybody to ever get repoed, but the car was like sitting. They moved in front of this old lady's house near us for like 2 weeks, and I'm just like, what is this car doing here? It's got no plate. Are you guys buying it or something? I don't know what's going on. I've never seen it. I knew they messed with it because I saw them put it there. And then this morning, that car finally was moved deep into their driveway with both their cars blocking it. And there was a repo truck there waiting because I was just like, what's going on? My shit's paid for. I know that. Like fucking, and then when I left for work though, he gave me a good wave. If the tow truck driver's waving and smiling at you, he's not there for you. So
is that the rule?
That's what I would guess. But yeah, so that was some fun this morning.
Is that the neighbors? Which neighbors? The ones you don't like?
Yeah, the ones I don't like. So
good. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's like I don't know I don't know. I thought they were selling the dumb. They made it's like a midlife crisis decision and bought a convertible Mustang literally right before Michigan winter. And I was like, well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. But I thought, oh, they finally came to their senses. They sold the Mustang and they got a nice. It's like a Ford. It's not your car, but it's something like that, like a sedan. So I was like, oh, that's a good choice. I guess not. So. The Mustang's there, but
wow.
These are the same neighbors that they came I came out of my house once and I looked at their car and they had the gas pump from the gas fucking station hanging out their car.
Dude, I love the chat or I love the conversation going on in chat about millennials and all. I being one, and I agree that it is a bit become a bit of a softer generation, but that doesn't change the fact that dementia still exists in our aging people, and that's hugely related to our environment. And just because some of us are still around from drinking from the hose doesn't mean that some of our elders, such as my grandmother, who just passed away 2 days ago from dementia, doesn't still exist.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like my parents' generation. They're Floridians, and like down there, they didn't use sunscreen for. There was no public ads. There was no commercials.
They're using cooking oil, putting fucking.
Yeah, they're doing stupid shit. I'm sure. And like, so they've had a lot of friends pass from skin cancer.
It doesn't show face when you're 50, 60 years old. It shows face when you're 70, 80 years old, and you have no idea who your family is.
Yeah, so like,
they don't make you sick and puke. They kill your mind and your brain. It's not a joke.
They put shit in the water too, so that's why I don't know if I drink the hose water these days anyways.
Yeah, a lot of things have
changed my local area.
Years for a lot of us. So it's kind of scary, Things have changed in like kids and like okay, like I work in the medical field and have for a very long time, and I feel like like children have like started like, especially girls have like started getting their periods very very early, like 10, 11 years old. And I don't know, I feel like that's maybe like a something that's gone on in the like proteins that we're getting from our cows and our meats. And
I just love how arrogant people are, that they're so healthy. And pardon me, but enough of the arrogance, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
That's my piece.
Yeah, no, there doesn't need to be any of that at all.
Well, but yeah, what they're feeding your cows is probably shit too. So
no,
hormones. Like that goes to a lot of hormones.
Goes to the meat.
Because like kids have changed over the years in the way that their makeup is, their body outlook, and their mindset. There's a lot of things that have changed over the years that we don't know what's going on in our meat products, our vegetables, what's going on, and like farmers and what they need to do to sustain their farm. It's not just a like kind of thing that we're not trying to be healthy or anything, but there's farmers out there trying to like make a go of things that like it's hard for them too. So I don't know, there's a lot of things that are different, GMOs,
I've been watching this shit for 10 years. Slow decline. It's not just aging. So I watch people 90 years old. My great-grandfather lived to be 96 years old. My great-grandmother lived to be 94 years old. Sound state of mind. Arrogance is it is not any of you on the panel. Conversations, just arrogant conversations going on in chat. I'm fucking sick of it. Chemicals fuck up our minds. This isn't about a soft generation. Trust me, I agree with all that bullshit. But it's enough. No more arrogance. Chemicals are killing people, causing dementia, and don't be arrogant just because you're so far healthy.
Chemicals, play a very big part in, I look at the farming runoff and stuff into our creeks and watersheds and the things like that, and like what the farmers are having to use to sustain to what we need.
There's a lot of...
Well, it's not hopeless though. I think the big answer in a lot of, I'm preaching
I don't
to
think
the choir.
It's
No, I think I'm preaching to the choir, like I was going to say on the panel here, because what you could do is you just grow your own, right? And you use the practices. Like I think Rosemary Oasis, if follow that page,
Yeah.
They'll give you a lot of ideas of how to do it yourself, right? And
especially if you got land.
Well, there's such a good feeling, like all you know the feeling when you grew your own cannabis and you can be your own supply. That like amount of freedom that gave you. The same thing happens when you take control of your food supply, and cannabis is just one medicinal herb. There's so many more out there too that and you can take control of your medicinal supply, and then it's just a big snowball that rolls down the hill of freedom. It's getting you off of dependence from the government, who obviously doesn't do a very good job at a whole lot of things.
Yeah, that's for sure. But yeah. The thing, it's gonna take a long time though. But that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I never saw people giving a fuck about owning their own chickens 10 years ago. Now I can point to probably 5, 6 different people I know that own chickens, and like, a lot of others starting to look at it. So I think, people, because it's like you said, grow your own. Grow your own, but I think it's more important than that, or just, part of it is you gotta tell people you're growing your own, so that they know, like, oh shit, the classic thing I'm sure y'all get, because I don't grow my own food. I'm the shittiest eater, but I'm sure people are like, when you tell them, oh, you gotta eat good vegetables and shit like that, or organic, and they go, oh yeah, let me just grow my own or something. You go, yeah, I grow my own, and they're like, oh, okay, it is that easy, maybe. So like, cause you don't need that much space. I mean, Spartan, your shit doesn't take up more than 20 by 20 feet at the most, let's say in the backyard there, as far as
Yeah.
food. So
Yeah.
like, and that supplies you a lot, so
Yeah, a ton.
it is something I think we could slowly work towards. But I mean,
But not
that's why
everybody has
that's why I
land.
like technology, where you have the ability to show an entire nation, hey, look at this shitty factory. I work in this factory that makes food. Let me show you this. And that's how things get around. And yeah, and so I think that's what I mean though. People like Red and Becca and them talking about it all the time, and showing people is a big thing about it. Just like
Absolutely.
that's how the cannabis got legal. That's how we kept bitching, we kept talking, we kept telling all your friends. I mean, they want to talk about how life is and how your job is, and you're like, well, have you tried this new sativa I smoked at Christmas and stuff? You're always talking about cannabis, and next thing you know, half the nation is legal, and more is coming. So I think just talking about it and doing it, obviously, but I'm trying to work toward it. I want to get my own
Leading
apples.
by example is.
I gotta get a bit. I gotta get a fence though. I need a big
so
fence.
expensive. I mean, leading by example. That's all we can do.
Yep. Well, and then like we discussed yesterday, vote with your dollars.
Yep.
So, but yeah, but yeah. I mean, we got like 10 minutes. We're gonna do an hour show. I didn't mention this, I guess, but everybody's real tired. I've been working my butt off, so I'll take extra sleep.
Everybody's been working super duper hard. Red and Becca have been burning the night's oil. Everybody needs a little break, and everybody needs to think about things. We're all like doing what we can to make ends meet, kind of thing. I feel like, and like growing our own product is like in our world the utmost priority to us. So, it is what it is to some people. So we're doing what we can. Just our bit. We're gonna provide and try to prosper and give back what we can. So I know that us as a group, this is sorry, this is what we're trying to do. So just a little bit counts.
Absolutely.
Because just there's what 2, 4, 5 people here right now. Nut trees on the other side. That's 6. That's 6 people that's making a difference in the world on being organic, or trying to provide for our own substance and home life, be it what it is. So I think that's great. and that's more to the future that we have being offered to us from the greater ups.
Yeah. Yep. But we're in warmer weather, so get your planting going if you haven't. Get your seeds popping of all sorts.
Mother's Day is coming up this weekend. That's a great
Mother's
time.
Day.
Oh shit, when's that?
You want to know what I told my brother to get my mom? I saw a shirt, and it's a heart. It's a sequin. You know those sequins that you can like flip up, and it's one thing.
Yeah.
And all right, so it's a heart.
Really heart. Yeah.
And then you can put whatever image you want when you flip it up. And my brother's I love him, but he's got that real douchey look. So he's like a real chat, you know what I mean? So he can, so we always, as a family, we watched Zoolander when it came out, like at Blockbuster, and he can do a real good Blue Steel look, you know, from that movie where it's like, and like you like, yeah, I don't know. So I texted him. I said, you need to get that shirt. Do your best Blue Steel because his hair's always like fucking fancy as shit these days. And then fucking send that to her.
That's awesome.
I think she's gonna like that.
Oh, she'd love that.
Love that.
Yeah.
Coming from one mom to another, I'm a mom, so I would love anything that my son would send me.
Yeah.
He could send me a booger, and I'd be like, oh.
Oh Jesus.
Oh god dang. Well, I want to shout out to.
Maybe not a booger.
Shout out to Emily. We shout out. I went down to visit her this weekend, and we on Saturday we went out to I can't remember the name of the place, but it was a bunch of greenhouses. It's probably 20 greenhouses, like hoop houses we walked through, and try as I might, I couldn't not walk away with some plants. So I did walk away with a few plants. I got a little flat for $1.25. I got 4 pepper plants.
Did they have any marigolds?
Oh, they had a shit ton of marigolds.
What? You're kidding?
No, but marigolds are annuals, and you don't want none of those.
Or what's the other one? The daffodil.
You want daffodils, yeah.
Yeah, I want some daffodils.
They didn't have any daffodils. That's out of season, man.
I don't get that. They're fucking yearly.
No, they're a bulb.
Marigolds are the best. They're so fun to grow.
I'll take some of those too, but I couldn't find those either.
Dude, you can get those everywhere just in seed form. They're just give them a seed pack.
All right.
We popped our own seeds that we collected from last year, and they sprouted and have flowers already.
I have some, dude. I can bring you some if you want.
Yeah, bring some marigolds. I'll at least pop those down around the yard. I'm doing a new thing. I think I saw on the internet where these people mow their yard. But like, imagine a square, and they mow it, but they leave the middle of the square unmowed, like, you know, a good chunk, like let's say 30-40% of it, and they leave it with the dandelions, the little flowers, all that shit. I kind of like that idea.
You just mow the outside edge of it.
Yeah, it's just pretty much. So, and then it looks like there's a natural garden in the middle of your yard, kind of.
Like a path through the middle too. Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like, I could get creative with it and plant some seeds in those patches. Yeah, so I might mess with that this year because I didn't get around to doing the apple tree and stuff. Just too busy, but
just make sure wherever it's by your house is mowed because that'll keep the rodents and stuff from, you know. They don't like crossing flat spots.
Oh yeah.
So leave that. Don't leave tall grass next to the house.
I'm gonna get the nematodes, I think, and do that for the moles. And kill all the grubs with nematodes because that's safe. And then the nematodes should, as long as it doesn't dry out too long, the nematodes should stay there. So.
Oh, I have another plant I got there for $1. They had it was called the state fair variety of it was a flower, zinnia maybe. Okay. But I'm not kidding you. The stalk was probably as big around as my thumb, and probably this tall on the thing already.
Damn.
I was like, all right. So I took
zinnias are good for butterflies and bees, I think.
Yeah,
sweet.
I think they're in my butterfly and bee pack.
Okay. Well, I put that in my sip container on my back porch, so we'll see how it does on a sip container.
If you top it, it'll pop
double up.
Oh, cool.
It looks like it already has a bud maybe on the top. It's hard for me to tell.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to top it at this point.
Definitely, once the flower, starts to die, they recommend cutting them off so that the next one.
Okay, deadheaded or whatever they call it. I'll do that.
Kitty, do we have a name?
Yes, it's Chewy.
Chewy.
This is how she named him Chewy after Tara. I'll tell us Star Wars, and he chews on stuff. She told me yesterday. But when we were talking about Pathfinder Day, I'm like, do you have a good imagination? She's like, no. And I was like, can you imagine yourself in Lord of the Rings or something? She's like, no. I like Star Wars. I was like, well, so now all I'm gonna relate everything to Star Wars and be like, that is just like that, but a metal sword, not a laser sword.
Exactly.
Like that, a crossbow bolt goes through you instead of a laser beam from a.
There you go.
But yeah, that's Chewy. Cute little bugger.
Chewy for you.
Does he fuck with your plants?
I'm sorry, what?
Does he fuck with the plants or try to?
Did you chew on the plants yet?
Funny, like I had a few laying out, and like he was on my lap, and he like was trying to get to him, but then once he got to him, he was like, I don't know. So he's only 8 weeks old. I mean, it's a bit much. So we're not even. I'm not even smoking around him. So.
Yeah, let that little brain develop, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to let him be a kitten.
Oh yeah, he's cute.
But
I thought I'll tell the chat, I guess. My name was Glacier, because she put a picture in chat of his eyeballs and they're really blue.
Oh my gosh,
like
they're
ice
so
blue.
Yeah. Oh gosh. But Glacier, you can't make a nickname out of that kind of. You can't be like fun with Glacier.
Yeah.
I gotta be like fun with it.
Is this striped like a Maine Coon? Does he have Maine Coon stripes?
He does. He really does.
He might get huge.
I'm not sure how he's gonna turn out. He really does have the Maine Coon.
They got them pet DNA tests.
They do. I will be curious, and maybe we'll do it. I don't know. But I saw the mom and dad, and they're not Maine Coons, so I don't think.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, have you seen the mom and dad?
Yeah. But he's super fun. He's really great to have fun with, and he's really been a good addition to our family, so we're loving him.
Does he snuggle? Is he a snuggler?
Yes, he wants to snuggle too, and he's been really good with the dogs, like laying with them, and they just want to lick him, so. But he's been good at night. It's so funny at night when everybody's laying in the beds, he's good. The dogs are good, but then everybody in the daytime, they're like up and about wanting him this, and this. But nighttime, they're good.
Yeah, oh yeah. Now you got a pack, so they're all going to sleep soundly. That's the thing.
Yes, they've been good. He's been good, honestly. You can't complain with a cat, honestly. I mean, you show them their litter box, you give them some food.
Does that imply that you can complain with a dog?
It's easy. A dog is a lot harder.
What? I think cats and dogs are yin and yang.
No.
I think they both.
You can leave a cat for more than a night.
A week. You can leave them for a week.
I've met several cats you cannot leave.
Sure,
they would die.
Ones.
Yeah, I find more cats that are high maintenance than dogs. Other than I guess you gotta feed the dog every day. But I don't know. I think they both have the pros and cons. Cause I don't know, but not every cat's just the nicest cat.
No,
some of them don't even want to fuck. They eyeball humans like you're disgusting.
No, so
hide under the bed all the time.
A boy cat. I've never had a boy cat ever. I've always had girl cats, and they're not very lovey. So my daughter has a boy cat, and he is the most lovey boy in the whole wide world. And I want some boy that's gonna wrap his arms around me like her cat and love on me. So
yeah. Well, it's been Cat Corner with the Late Sesh. Where see us on Sunday night, 9 p.m. Well, Michigan Bros Show live.
Cheers, everybody.
See ya.